Hey, it's Mark. I'm gonna do a video on a couple really neat setups I see and some of the things I see going on in the market right now. Like I'm seeing a lot of bullish things overall. Of course, like I've been following the XLI ETF for a while now since it got in this trading range. So it's finally starting to break above that trading range, and I talked about that in a previous video that it's breaking out and it's continuing to break out now, and that's a really bullish sign because these are industrial companies, so they're usually pretty tied into the economy and even a little bit of cyclicality there. So those are looking really strong. And I'm also watching the home building ETF, and it's starting to come up there a little bit too. It's not quite strong or breakout, but it's the high was 97.49 and we hit 97.55 today. It didn't close um, at the highs, but it looks like it might try again. It's still above that channel level that I drew up. So it's looking pretty bullish too, and it's got a nice uptrend. See, it's been in an uptrend since the beginning of the year, really. If we zoom in on this uptrend here, we can see that line there. It's been since it found that support level there back in early January. It's just been steadily uptrending. So I wouldn't be surprised if these break out too. But the home builders have been kind of like a lot of the stocks have been, at least some of the housing related stocks have been kind of weak. Like 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 Open and certain housing specific stocks, not necessarily home builders, but that are tied to the economy. Like I always watch like Wayfair too. Like Wayfair's kind of been underperforming, versus the rest of the market here. And but they've had trouble for a long time, so I always look at this one as like a short. If it's kind of good for shorts when it's weak, because they just continue to be weak since their IPO, really. And the Peloton too. The Peloton's another one that's been chronically weak, and the stock went up for months straight, and then they reported earnings, and it just nosedived, and we just broke below that uptrend. So the uptrend momentum is now broken. So I think this might be a bear flag. Like it may be doing a bear flag here, so it's going to come up a little bit, maybe the 460s, and then it's just going to go back down again, with continued selling pressure. Because they obviously, the street didn't like the reaction there after their earnings. So I would be really surprised if the trend reversed here and it started to try to reclaim that uptrend. You never know, it could happen, but I'm definitely got a bearish bias on this one now. So I think it's a good short if it does actually bear flag and then breaks that bear flag. So it'll come up and then go back down, but it might come up a little bit first. We'll see. And those are some of the weak ones I just continue to look at. And the JKS, it did what I thought it could do. Is it's retesting this level again. So if it goes above that level, then all bets are off on the short, really. But if it tests this and then comes back down, back into 25 something, then the short's really there. So I didn't put any trades on today, so it's a good thing I'm just kind of watching it here to see what it does now, because it could try to reclaim, but my hunch is it's gonna fail here and just come back down in the 25. But I could be wrong, but that's a good that's another good short setup. And I found an interesting long setup that continues to run is the NGL. And when I put out a Twitter post on this one like months ago, and a lot of people chimed in about their research on it and their knowledge, and this company's been doing really well, and apparently they get a lot of favorable contracts, and there's a lot of good things going on with them, and this stock just keeps breaking out. I mean, it's been a heck of a stock. It bottomed out in 2022, like about $1 a share, and then it went from $1 a share or dollar something in 2023 in January all the way up to 5 something by the end of the year, and then we're still holding. It's getting close to $6, holding $6 again, or $6. So that looks like a bull flag to me. This flag here. You see the volume was pretty good today, so, and this volume here was not really much on the sell volume. You see the sell volume here was pretty light too. You can see the light sell volume. So that's kind of what indicates a flag to me, a bull flag. So it could have been lower, like it's that sell volume that day wasn't bad, but we've already reversed those prices. So I think this one's off the races, and it does tend to run multiple days in a row. I traded some calls on this one a while back. I'm not sure if I still have those or not, but I might be looking at these calls again, because even though it looks like we missed the boat here, it just continues to have a lot of relative strength, and what's a pretty mixed market as far as these energy companies go. Like you look at XLE, XLE. If you compare this stock to XLE, XLE's pretty much gone nowhere for months now. It's down from where it was in beginning of 2023. Well, I can't see, let's see. Yeah, it's basically gone nowhere, for months. So there's definitely something going on with that NGL. It's like when you see a stock with that much relative strength versus the industry peers, that's, to me, that just tells me that there's good things to come for that stock, and that somebody knows about it. So I'm not even gonna look at the rest of these energy stocks because they're not really worth looking at. Just the NGL. The NGL is just a beast here, and continues to be. So it's probably one of my favorite, energy stocks for sure. And the rig, like the rig's on the opposite. Rig's down again today, and this is one of the ones I was more bearish on. Like I alerted that bear flag there. So it looks like we might even take some more lows here on this one. It's just well, this move here looks a little similar to back in December. So we may not go straight down from here, but we'll see. I'm still bearish on that one, and I've noticed like the Bitcoin and the crypto's pretty good too. So I was trying to get a read on the Bitcoin. Like once if it takes out these highs back here, which the actual Bitcoin itself might be, because these ETFs are usually a little off, but the momentum just continues in Bitcoin. It hasn't really lost momentum. Like the dips always get bought up. So it would be nice if it hadn't had such a sell-off, in January, but I imagine, if stocks do well, Bitcoin will too, because Bitcoin's been one of the best performing assets, over the last, few years. Like, was it last year? It was like even better than stocks, so, or no, it was 2022. But anyway, it's up there. It's one of the better performing assets over the past few years. So, yeah, I'm seeing this. The AMC might be a reversal here again. Like, these stocks that are highly shorted, and they're manipulated, or like, there's this selling pressure. Sometimes they'll pop up like this and just immediately reverse. Like it did that pretty much there back in the end of the month, in January. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just go back down now, because there's still no serious bottom here. The technicals are still pretty bad. I mean, if we go above 430, then maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just go sideways here or down again. So, and Nvidia is still breaking out. I think it's a good idea here to look at the Bollinger Bands, because like one of my key indicators to tell a stock is overbought is if the stock is way above the upper Bollinger Band. So let's see how it's done with that too. So yeah, back in May of last year, it was up above the upper Bollinger Band 3 days in a row, really high back here, and then it came down a little bit. And I don't see any other big overshoots. Like, that's the interesting thing about it is, even though there's a ton of buying volume coming in, that it never really goes above the upper Bollinger Band for that long. So when it's above the upper Bollinger Band significantly, that means it's short-term overbought, because the Bollinger Bands are just kind of like a moving average. It's like a mean reversion type of moving average, and I use it more for overbought. So when the stock's up, like it went above it there, but that didn't really matter either. But you can see it's just been kind of riding. It just rides that upper Bollinger Band, and it's still riding it, which stocks with like a lot of momentum, those keep riding that. They'll ride it up and up, and they won't go up much above it. So it's still riding it. I wouldn't be surprised if it just keeps breaking out, because that's what it's been doing. It's just been that consistent uptrend. So I had a trend line there, and that got messy. So it just reversed any person dumb enough to short it. So yeah, it's still breaking out there, because it's a total momentum stock. You can't short these, but the fundamentals are too good to short anyways with the demand coming in. So, but that's what you'll see a lot. Like, I found like a lot of retail traders can kind of give you the best trade. They're kind of like Jim Cramer. Like, you think of Jim Cramer, he's almost like a retail trader as far as his stock analysis. So, but of course, he's educated, but he's like the inverse. So let's look at Tesla. So I'm just gonna wrap it up in a little bit, because I don't want to talk too long. So the Tesla, I've been really spot on with these technicals, and yeah, it's breaking above that down channel like I thought it would after the NIO did, and Lee. So even though it looks like it's kind of weak print, like it printed a hammer today, so it's pretty bullish. So if you're a Tesla bull, it's not looking as bad. It's looking a little better here. So we got that down channel broken now. It's got a hold here, but you can see it better on the daily, or on the intraday. So that was the bottom there, and the momentum's held pretty well. So keep spiking down. So let's call that the trend, the internal trend line. So like the more clear trend lines right there. But it's definitely an uptrend. But that's kind of like the safest trend line there. So it's definitely got an uptrend off of this break. So that's the channel break, and it's up 2 days in a row pretty much off of that. Like, that was the retest there, but it didn't even retest it exactly. But that was the attempted retest because it was just too bullish. So it went before. So it's looking really bullish actually. I mean, short term, this thing's looking bullish. So I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going like 190s. So yeah, it's pretty much doing okay. You know, stop breaking down. And I don't think the uranium, not much happened with the uraniums. Oh yeah, there's one stock that I noticed was interesting. In my Momos, I saw some Momo there. This one, it's a biotech. It's like for rare diseases. It's not a cancer, but it's a rare disease one, and this momentum has been incredible. It's up 5 days in a row here. It did a high flag back here. That was the high flag. It's 2 days and then pop, and it's actually going above the upper Bollinger Band. It's just incredible strength. But it's actually a supernova, but it's not worth shorting because, at least yet, because it's the momentum is just incredible, and it broke out of that level there. But it does have a history of spiking and failing, so we'll see. But this volume is just unlike it's ever had, so it's not a short now. It may be at some point, but it looks like it doesn't have any resistance really until till $3 till $3, 330. Yeah, 330 roughly. So it could go another $1 a share really. Then it's got a gap to fill, so the next resistance is like $8. So yeah, this thing's really going. I'm not saying it's gonna go there, but it could. So yeah, that's that one. But yeah, another interesting one was the Rolls-Royce. So I was looking at the industrials, which look pretty bullish, and then we've got this Rolls-Royce continues to make new highs. Just broke out today on really high volume. Looks like high unusual volume too. I'm not seeing. Yeah, I don't see another volume day like that, except maybe in 2022 it traded 29 million shares in one day. Today it traded 33 million, so it's the highest, looks like the highest volume since 2022. And I'm not sure what happened today with this one, but it's pretty amazing, you know. And this is a luxury car company, but they don't just sell cars; they have other businesses too. But this is definitely looking bullish too, and might be it's like another leading indicator that the economy is strong and that stocks are going to continue to go higher. So that's something to keep an eye on too. That's the level there. It broke out with that trading range there. And I was watching the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Yeah, it's still a bull flag. It's just a really slow flag here. I wouldn't be surprised if this one breaks out any day now too. You know, the big pop. Because in the past it's popped, you know, 20% a day. So it could hit, you know, 150 in one day or 145. Maybe it'll pop tomorrow. Who knows? But it's looking bullish too. And you look at that sell volume, like you look at the selling pressure on these red days. It's not really high. Like there's not a whole bunch of, there's not, compared to the run days, it's not much. So hit a lot the first day, but that's okay. Because he hasn't had a big volume day except for that first day off the flag. So can't get any more bullish really. It couldn't be a better bull flag really. I haven't looked at the FMCC, see if that's the same thing. It's not quite as clean, but looks pretty flaggy too. It's a little more choppy on these days, but I like the FNMA better. I think it had the higher gains too when it ran. So this is a pretty good speculative long too. And yeah, the healthcare continues to see that healthcare broke out. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of breakouts. I'm sure if I looked at more sectors, there'd even be more breakouts. But the healthcare keeps going too, which is pretty consistent now. It's been really consistent. More breakout. So yeah, that's I've talked a lot about a lot of things here. So we'll call it a wrap on that, and catch you in the next one.